Hello, 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 hello. How is everyone doing tonight? Well, welcome to my live. Tonight we're going to talk about Diddy and the Baltimore Bridge, Nickelodeon, and also we're going to get into these patty pies and why Pattie LaBelle is only receiving 10%. I know, right? 10%. What's 10%? Anyway, that's what the show is going to be about tonight. So stay right there. We're going to get into it in just a moment. Chat will be open. So if you have something to say, you want to join the live, whatever it is, the chat will be open. Tomorrow is Easter Sunday. Are you ready? You got your baskets? I saw somebody selling baskets for $80. So yeah. All right. Welcome to KHCC Mobile TV. This is where you are going to hear all amazing news about black people. It's all positive, it's all good vibes, it's all of that. So it's midnight. What are you guys doing up this late? What are you doing up? You're getting ready for church tomorrow. And I'm sorry that I'm looking off. My camera is there, but it's like up there because I had my office set up because I'm working on some documents. And so my monitors are portrait instead of landscape. Yeah, a little crazy in my office. So forgive me for not making direct eye contact. But chat is going to be open tonight. If you want to join the live, you will be able to join the live and all that good stuff. So yeah, welcome to the show. My name's Kathleen. I'm an author and also a consultant. Don't forget, I have a class coming up April the 27th where I will be sharing with you guys how to self publish a book. So if you've seen that advertised on my page, it is true. On April the 27th, did I say August? On April the 27th, I will be doing a Facebook Live class and I'm going to teach you how to self publish a book. Got it? Okay. If you look way over there in that corner, that book that has the girl and the boy on it, that's one of my books, and I have several others. So let's get into it. Let's get this party started. The first thing we are going to talk about is Club Diddy. Um, as you know, his little spot was blew up. Diddy's spot was blew up. Diddy's spot was blew up not too long ago. They had a raid, right? Everybody know because we have the intranet. So Diddy's spot was blew up. I'm gonna share that with you in just a second. Give me a second. Let's see what we got here. Mm-mm-mm. There we go. So, as you can see here, Diddy's spot was, they came for him. They say he has more than one house, one mansion, or whatever. Um, and they're showing here the aftermath. They say they went through his house, tore up everything and whatnot. arrested his two sons, um, and all of that. So, you know, that's what happens. That's what happens when you have several cases pending against you. People saying you SA'd them. Um, I mean, people saying you groomed them. All types of allegations about Diddy are floating around. So when things like that happen, when you're accused of all of these heinous crimes and diabolical situations, I'll say this, okay? I'll say this. If you're in a situation where it's consenting adults, then, you know, unfortunately, it is what it is. I can't say unfortunately because there are laws for a reason. So anytime it's consensual, um, it's consensual. You don't get to cry foul or rape or anything like that because you're two consenting adults. And so if you consent to the behavior, and you participate, you're a willing participant, well, that's on you because you're an adult. Once you turn 18, you're an adult and it is what it is. Okay. That's not a gray area at all. Once you turn 18 and you do whatever you do, that's what it is. However, if you're in a situation where someone is your boss, right? And your boss is putting you in a position where you either have to sleep with them or have some type of sexual favor, or you're not going to have a job, well, that's a different story, right? So by law, you are obligated to not harass your employees. It's called sexual harassment. So whenever you want them to do a sexual act in exchange for job security, or to maintain their job, for a promotion, whatever the case it may be, that's actually called sexual harassment. So if they were your employee or working for you in any kind of way, that is definitely against the law. So those are, aside from Cassie's case, which um allegedly in Cassie's case, she accused him of SA. We all know that he paid her off within 24 hours. So we all know that to be true. And so, we know what's going on with that, right? He paid her off, and I'm guessing, you know, I'm guessing that was the end of it. I don't know. I guess that's the end of it. Once you pay them off, that's the end. I guess they closed the case, and that's the end of it. Um, but for these other particular cases where you're dealing with people saying, "Hey, I was an employee of his, and I had to have engaged in sexual acts with him in order to maintain my job," well, that's a problem because that's against the law. And when something's against the law, you have every right to sue. You have every right to bring that person to court and to say that your rights were violated. And you have every right to pursue that in such a way that they are made to pay. That is the law. Has nothing to do with how you feel, what you think. It has nothing to do with any of that. The fact of the matter is, you have a case and you have a right to sue. That's just what it is. So, Diddy finds himself in this situation where that's what he's going to have to deal with. Now, he hasn't said a word. I haven't seen any blog post, a statement from Diddy or anything like that. Excuse me. Allegedly, they made his jet land, allegedly saying that based on the what do you call that thing, the manifest, he was supposed to be on that jet. However, when the jet landed, he was not on the jet. People are saying he's in Antigua, and all types of rumors. You know how the rumors start. So they're saying all of that. I don't know where Diddy is. You know, I didn't know where he was before this. So because I didn't know where he was before this, I am certainly not going to know or understand where he is at this point. So, Diddy, I don't know where you are or what you're doing, but there are some people looking for you. Okay. I don't know if you look, we know Diddy know these things. He knows people are looking for him. One thing about it though that I did pay attention to, and when I'm reading about stories and things like that, I'm always looking for credible witnesses, credible statements, which is odd, which is kind of weird now because of AI. So because of AI, and I'm staying on topic here, but because of AI, you're able to generate images and video and actual voice that sounds like P. Diddy. And I know you've seen some of this AI floating around where Diddy is saying things and people are like, no, he didn't say that. Nope. But AI is able to recreate his home. So it's able to recreate location. AI is able to create video. So they can literally make a video of P. Diddy walking and talking and it not be a real video at all. Now, to me, AI looks like AI. It looks a little robotic. Although it looks realistic, it still looks to me, and I don't even consider myself a person with a trained eye at all. But to me, when I'm looking at videos, I can kind of tell that it's an AI video from a real natural person walking, talking type of video. So that's just me. Now, will I get it right every time? I doubt it. But some of this stuff that's out here is not, it's not real, it's AI. So nobody has actually heard from P. Diddy. However, there is one video floating around with a quote unquote credible person, right, on Chris Cuomo's show. Okay. Now, was that Chris Cuomo or what? Let me get to the video because this individual who I've seen before and I would consider him a credible person is saying that he he was actually on, what's her name? I used to watch her the last presidential election. I can't even think of what her name is, but we're gonna jump over to the video so we can see it. Let me see if I can get this video up. Oh, what just happened to my video? Oh, here it is. Let's see if I can get some sound. I think her name is Leslie. I hate to.
Years ago, okay, I know this man well enough to call him and say, hey, I need a favor.
Yeah.
And this might have been 10, 12 years ago that I called him and say, hey, I have a family member who I want you to hire them as an intern.
Yeah.
And I have never talked about this publicly. And he said yes. And they were flying around, one of the interns, Atlanta, Miami, whatever, on the jet, in the house, whatever. And then the internship stopped abruptly, like 3 or 4 months into it.
Yeah.
And I spoke to my family member, like, well, what happened? And they wouldn't say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did it end? He wouldn't say. And years later, they finally came out, and this a male, and said that Puff had said, come home, stay the night with me, or the internship is over. And they said, absolutely not. He said, absolutely not. And the internship ended. But from there, I was like, oh, like this is how it goes. Okay. Yeah. I was personally disturbed many years ago. Okay. I know this man well enough to call him and say, hey, I need a favor.
Yeah.
And this might have been 10, 12 years ago that I called him and say, hey, I have a family member who I want you to hire them as an intern.
Yeah.
And I have never talked about this publicly. And he said yes. And they were flying around, one of the interns, Atlanta, Miami, whatever, on the jet, in the house, whatever. And then the internship stopped abruptly, like 3 or 4 months into it.
Yeah.
And I spoke to my family member, like, well, what happened? And they wouldn't say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did it end? He wouldn't say. And years later, they finally came out, and this a male, and said that Puff had said, come home, stay the night with me, or the internship is over. And they said, absolutely not. He said, absolutely not. And the internship ended. But from there, I was like...
So that was, you couldn't see her face. I want to say her name is Leslie, and I might be wrong, but I used to watch her all the time because she was on, I'm going to get all the network stuff wrong too, so I hate to even say anything, but I feel like her name was Leslie, and she used to be on CNN or something like that. I know she was a part of, she got her own show, so she's a journalist, right, a commentator, and at one point she had her own show. She handled the election. Remember when Trump was running and we couldn't believe he won and all that kind of stuff. So she was one of the person who was highlighting all that political stuff. So, and this guy, I think he's a journalist as well. But both of them very extremely credible. So what I wouldn't do, seeing them and hearing them, I would not dismiss what they're saying. Okay. Because of the level of credibility in both of those individuals. Okay. Now his name is Tory or Tory. Look, I'm up here butchering names, butchering people. I'm just butchering everything, but trust me when I say he's a writer. Okay. All right, an American writer, and he says Diddy fired journalist family member from internship after they refused to sleep with said Diddy, the rapper. And like he said, he's never been vocal, right? This is not something that he's not that type of person. But he's saying his relative refused to spend the night and Diddy fired him. That is grounds for a lawsuit. You cannot terminate people because they won't sleep with you. Now, if it was you just can't. So whatever he was, I would say this from what I understand. If you fire someone and you were in a contract with that person, right? And you were paying them money, you then owe them all the money that you would have paid them had they remained in that position. Okay. So Diddy does owe that man or whoever it was a man, right? Because it was his male cousin or whoever it was. Diddy does owe him money for that. Also for the sexual harassment. You can get paid for that as well. So Diddy would owe him money for that as well. You have to, when it's a situation where you do have credible witnesses, I mean, you kind of have to just, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It is what it is. And you can love a person, you can like a person, they can achieve success, they can have a big brand. You could have known them for 40, 50, 20 years. It doesn't matter. When they do something that's illegal, criminal, jacked up, anything that's SA, right? Trigger warning. They have to pay. And I don't know what it is with people thinking, oh, he's so big, nobody can touch him. Or Joy Reid, that's her name, Joy Reid from MSNBC. Joy Reid, that is the person who was interviewing him. So I'm sorry, I had to look it up because I see these two people, Joy Reid and Tory, all the time. And I know them to be credible people, credible individuals. So, it lends to some, quality of, believability here, right? Right. If that's even a word. But, you cannot dismiss what people are saying just because he's Diddy. Just because you have $1 billion. We've seen this with Epstein. We've seen it. Well, look, seems like Trump, I don't know how they can't take Trump down. But anyway, we saw it with Epstein. There's going to come a time. We saw it with Bill Cosby. There is going to come a time that you are going to have to pay the piper. Okay. That's what's going on right here. Diddy is going to have to pay the piper. And you can't excuse him because he's P. Diddy. You can't just be like, okay, it's P. Diddy. He got billions of dollars and he a black man. And they always coming after our black men. Black men, stop SAing. Stop sex trafficking. Stop doing illegal drugs. You guys stop doing all of this stuff, because when the time comes, they're going to raid your house. They're going to take all of your assets. And how about it's just wrong to do that stuff? And I know he grown, he can do what he want to do, but it's wrong. And it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. Now, I did read the supposed court documents. They were shared on another platform. I'm not familiar with that platform, so I can't really believe what I see. But I did see the documents shared in other spaces as well, with this latest case that involves Stevie J and some other names. And this individual is saying too that P. Diddy, tried to SA them. Well, did SA them, and that Carisha was involved in it, his girlfriend, and that 50 Cent girlfriend was a sex worker. Now listen, Chat GPT and all types of stuff can generate reports and put all kind of stuff out there. So I didn't really put my hooks in it. I didn't go out there and look for it, because the conversation I wanted to have was just a simple fact that when you do things, illegal things, when you SA people, when you sex traffic people, we don't get to say, support this black man. We don't get to just be like, hey, I'm going to support him and stand up for him no matter what. It doesn't work that way. Now, if he was a good guy who got caught up in some false allegations and some things that were horrid, that weren't true by no stretch of no imagination, okay, then we come to his defense. Then we show up. Then we rally the troops, and we march and we protest, and we talk about how we are going to advocate for this man. P. Diddy does not qualify for that, based on what we're hearing and what we're seeing. And it's not like we're the judge and the jury, but common sense says no. That's just common sense. Common sense, like, no, we cannot come to your defense, sir. You did this. And people are, one lady said Diddy shot her in the face and nothing was done about it. I think Diddy may have taken on this God complex where he thought he was untouchable. That can happen when you have money and friends in high places. It can happen when you pay police, or I'm just throwing it out there, you can get away with things for a long time, and no one can pull your card. But then there comes a time that payday shows up, and you are going to have to, quote unquote, pay the piper. And that's what it was, and that's what it looks like is happening to Diddy. And it's been rumors for years that he killed Tupac and Biggie and all. Lord, look, I ain't even gonna get into all of that. But those are the rumors. And it's one of those things where, time is gonna tell, because they've raided his house, and I'm sure more things are going to follow. And it's just one of those things. So, yeah. Diddy do. Diddy. I wanted to just sing that song about Diddy. I don't know why it's so goofy. Diddy. I want to make that a song about Diddy. I should say, Diddy do it, Diddy not. Do I Diddy do it, Diddy not? That is horrible. That's really horrible. Okay, so the next thing I do want to talk about and share is about the Baltimore Bridge. So unfortunately, I don't know what bridge it was a few years ago, but there was another bridge that collapsed. Was it in Minnesota or something like that? I can't even think of what it was. But there was another bridge that collapsed. It's been a few years since it happened. Was I even living in St. Louis at the time? I can't remember if I was even living in St. Louis at the time, because I might have been living in Cincinnati. But there was another bridge that collapsed. The barge ran into this bridge, a container ship. They're saying at least 20 people have passed away. And they still have a ton of people that they need to get out of that water. Very sad situation. I mean, people are saying they don't know how it happened because people who are familiar with how barges work are saying that even if the power went out on the barge, they still have the capacity to steer clear, to steer. And when I looked at the video, I'm just saying to myself, like, you had all of that space, you had all of that room. Why were you that close to that column? Like, it didn't make sense to me. It just didn't make sense. I'm like, it's a river. You know, you have plenty of space. Why didn't you use the space that you had? So that this wouldn't happen. And of course, a bridge is a bridge is a bridge. People are crossing bridges night and day, right? So if you run into a bridge and cause that bridge to collapse, look, needless to say, you're going to cause people to lose their life. So it's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And it's just weird. It's weird that happened. But look at the boat. Like, do you not see all of this space they have? You have all of this space. Why did you come in so close to this and cause this accident? And listen, no amount of compensatory damage is going to be good enough to satisfy the grief of all of these family members who suffered loss due to this level of negligence. Do you understand? This is a level of negligence. I can't even remember what made that bridge pass a while back, but this is a level of negligence that who's going to pay for this? Like, this is, and my heart goes out to all of those who lost their lives. This is tragic. This is tragic. And it's just sad. They're saying it lost power. So, like I said, some people are saying, no, it doesn't matter if it lost power or not. It should have been able to still steer clear. Let me see. I'm trying to think of that other bridge. Where was it at? I think it was in Minnesota, but I can't remember where that Minneapolis. Okay. I think it was Minneapolis. Yeah. And I'm not 100% sure, but this is just devastating. And, people had something to say about the mayor's comments. So the mayor, how they always do a little speech or something like that. After something like this tragic happens, they always ask the mayor to come and do a speech. And the mayor did come and he did do a speech and he told them, listen, our main concern right now is lives. We don't give a crap about when they're going to rebuild this bridge. And I was just like, who's even asking that? Like the people who lost their lives, this just happened. Who cares about when a bridge is going to be rebuilt? Like, are you serious? But some people are so callous. Another thing I realized and paid attention to was that there were, you know, how we always do, like, you know, pray. We used to, we used to be like, as soon as something happened, they would create like this icon on Facebook and social media, and you would be like, you know, say like Texas doing an ice storm, pray for Texas. You know, Hawaii after that devastating fire, pray for Hawaii. Have you noticed you haven't seen things like used to? We used to do that all the time. But I don't know. I guess tragedy strikes so often now that you would be changing that like every few days. You would be every few days saying something about, you know, pray for some city or some state or some on behalf of some tragedy, because that's just how often it's happening. And of course, they have some before and after shots of the bridge, you know, when these things took place. And of course, it's a regular bridge, and then of course it's collapsed. Um, but it just breaks my heart. These shots right here in particular were very look at that. That is an incredible view. Um, you know, sad to say, of course, that lives were lost, but oh, can you imagine what the search is going to be like? That's, I don't know. Like, I'm one of those people, if anything, God forbid, was ever to happen, please let me be able to recover the body. I just wouldn't want my family to like not be able to say their last goodbyes. And I understand, you know, sometimes you do have to work around things like that because, you know, like military, they don't come home. Sometimes there's a fire or an explosion and you're not able to recover the body. So, you know, I understand things like that happen, but can you imagine just on pins and needles knowing that your loved one is out here somewhere? I hate it. Many, 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 many prayers to those who are in Baltimore. I've visited Baltimore before because my nephew lived there. I was going to a show in New Jersey to pitch a product, and I stayed with my nephew for a few days. Baltimore is a beautiful city in the areas where it is beautiful. Okay. It's just like every other city. You have good places and bad places, but it was beautiful. I love the marina view, you know. It was very beautiful. I went to this little midtown area where there were a lot of restaurants and things like that. I don't know if it was midtown, downtown, whatever. But it was very nice, you know, very nice. And I enjoyed myself. So definitely praying for Baltimore because that is some serious, serious damage that was done. My heart goes out to them, and many, 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 many prayers go out to them. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about, and I think I'm going to do like my little break right here because the next thing we're going to talk about is crazy, crazy bad. Like it's not even good. So like we're gonna do a little commercial type break right here. We're getting ready to talk about Nickelodeon, and then we're gonna switch over and talk about Pattie Pies. And why is Patty LaBelle only receiving 10% of profits from Pattie Pies in Walmart? A lot of people were shocked to hear it. I'm going to tell you why I wasn't so shocked, and I understand. Well, I don't like it, but I do understand. So we're going to talk about that. I don't have any real commercials, but however, if you need a life policy, text GW for generational wealth to 314-472-8127, and I will make sure I get you a quote in about 5 minutes for a life policy. You don't want to have to do a GoFundMe when your loved one dies. I would be embarrassed, even though I would be dead. I would be embarrassed, even as a dead person, unalive person, excuse me, to know that my family was not left with sufficient funds to take care of me um, once I pass. So, in all seriousness, one of the quickest ways to pass on generational wealth is a life policy. Unfortunately, well, it's a part of life, so I can't really say unfortunately. We're all here and we are all on a exit plan, whether we understand that fully or not. So as you journey through life, your day could be any day. That's just how it is. And during those times when your family is filled with grief and uncertainty, the last thing you want to do is lay the burden on them to take care of you at the last stage of your life. So, Deep W for a life policy. You can always support me at Cash App at KV Product. So yeah. So if you want to support my live, which is live on YouTube and Facebook, you can do so. And if you enjoy the content, send me stars, whatever, hit the Cash App. And I want to make sure you understand on April the 27th, we will be doing a free webinar. Everybody said free, free, free. We will be doing a free webinar. I will be teaching you about self-publishing your own book. Of course, I'm an author and consultant, and I will help you learn how to publish your own book. You can check out my books on Amazon or at your local library. Yes, they are in the National Data System, library system. You can actually order the books online through your library system. You know how you go on there and you want to check out a book, you can check out my books. My full name is Kathleen Harrod, as you can see here, and you can check out my books and they will get them to your local library. Also, you can go on Amazon and purchase my books. Again, that name is Kathleen Harrod. I have 4 books there. One is Hurt People, Help People. If you're looking for a way to learn more about preventing child sexual abuse, that is the book for you. I have another book called Things I Wish I Knew. If you want to have really good conversations with your children about life and what to expect in life in regards to relationships, and all types of stuff, this book is going to cover that. So you think you want to have sex. So if you have a preteen or a teen, this book is great for you because it will help provide guidance for your child to help them understand that they need a plan for their life and why sex may not be and is not the best choice, especially when they're young. And then I have one more book. What is the name of it? Things I Wish I Knew. So you think you want to have sex, the body book, the legacy workbook. Oh my God, how did I forget that? I'm actually updating the legacy workbook. So hold on, wait until April. There's a new updated version of that book coming out, and you will want it. Okay. All right. You with me so far? Cool. All right. So we can turn all of that off. And now we can talk about Nickelodeon. So Hollywood pedophiles strike again, allegedly. Now, over the years, we've heard a lot of stories about Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon became very popular a little past my time for watching TV, right? For watching cartoons and stuff. I was already like a young adult, maybe when Nickelodeon came out. Probably something my children are more familiar with, and I probably seen it because my kids were watching it. Somewhere along those lines. However, I do remember the shows because, like I said, either I watched them or my kids watched them. Not 100% sure. But here are all the allegations surrounding Dan Snyder and others for allegedly SAing children. Okay, grooming, whatever, all the stuff these nasty people do. They commit crimes, right? It's just not something we turn our nose up at. It is an actual crime. It is a crime to touch children inappropriately. It is a crime to groom them. It's a crime to have a relationship with a child. Oh, that's a crime. So, but you know, the stories are coming out, and this is on Facebook, and so we'll listen to a little bit of this. Let me see if I can get it up here. Go back. Okay, get some sound here. And apparently there's a documentary out that you can watch, and so again, yeah, let me see if I can find it. Okay, hold on one second.
This is what happens when leadership is done. This is what happens when leadership is done absolutely wrong.
All 4 parts of the Nickelodeon documentary Quiet on Set aired on ID earlier this week. It covered the alleged sexual abuse, racism, and sexism that took place on several Nickelodeon series during the early 90s and 2000s.
So when I look at this interview with Dan
So there are a lot of videos out here circulating.
I was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened to me in my career thus far. And I told him, I'm here for you. What do you need? Next, I heard that he went to court when this guy was being tried, Peck. And when Drake walked in, he saw 50 people sitting on the side of the courtroom supporting Peck. A lot of them pretty famous. Of course, Drake was devastated that that happened. 41 of those people wrote letters for Peck, character letters. They knew he had confessed to some degree, and they still did this. I don't know if people know this, but Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I stay in contact with this day, she came to me at the time and she said, Dan, I'm not good with words like you are. Would you help me with my speech for the judge? I said, of course. And I did. And he ended up going to prison and serving his time. Yeah, that was probably the darkest part of my career. After he got out of prison and was, to my knowledge, a registered sex offender, he was hired on a Disney Channel show.
Now, what's weird about that is here he is coming to the defense of an investigation when he himself is a part of the problem. That's crazy. But
and I was sleeping on the couch where I would usually sleep, and I woke up to him. I just opened my eyes. I woke up and he was and I froze and was in complete shock and had no idea what to do or how to react. You know, he's so apologetic. Oh, this will never happen again. I'm so sorry. You know, that I don't know what got into me, and I crossed the line.
excuse me.
I woke up.
As you can see, the allegations, excuse me for coughing right in the mic. Coffee's so good. But this is a case of Me Too. It's a case of let me tell my story. That's what it is. And excuse me, rightfully so. Everyone get it out, tell your story, and then let's do the work of preventing things like this from happening. That's what I don't see enough. There are a lot of books. I teach on this subject. I educate on this subject. I don't see a lot of people signing up. I don't see a lot of people taking classes. I don't see a lot of people, really trying to stop pedophilic behavior. There needs to be an agenda within every community, church, school, home to stop this. Stop children from suffering. There needs to be a real urgent agenda, plan of action, strategies, participation to actually get something done. I don't see that happening. I've been in the space of, I don't know what's playing. Look, I've been in the space of teaching children. I've been holding classes since 2015. I get invited to community events and all that kind of stuff. Normally, people are scared to walk over to my table, scared to engage in conversations. Now, I always get some people now. I always get some people that aren't afraid. But generally, when I am invited, people are grown people, adults are like this. They're petrified. They're scared to say anything. After the event is over, they want to quietly walk by my table. Thank you for being here. Let me get one of your books. Thank you for educating us on that. It happened to me. Oh, men and women, they'll tell me, it happened to me. 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 But I don't see anybody prioritizing making it a thing that we eliminate. Like, I don't see that. I just don't. And I'm just keeping it real. Nobody's really making it a priority. The church is not making it a priority. The schools are not making it a priority. Nobody's really making it a priority. Nobody is. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real. Nobody is preventing child sexual abuse a priority. I've had my page, which Instagram took my page down because I had a video of allegedly, I ain't gonna say allegedly, it looked like her, so I'll say allegedly, Demi Moore kissing a kid that looked like he was like, I don't know, 10 to 13 years old, a boy. She was tongue kissing him, committing a sexual act with a little boy. It was on my Instagram page. I made some other posts about some other celebrities. They took my Instagram page down. I don't see any real efforts being made. Let's just tell the truth. I don't know what it is about people and their fear. It's a weird situation. But hopefully we turn the curve on this and start being a lot more active when it comes to and I'm going to show you the page that you can go to. I've had this page active for years. So you can go here, you can it's free classes, free webinars, and I got all kinds of stuff on here. But it's TBB Contact 3. Okay, there's the young lady holding my book. Okay, so when you go there, you'll see that on the page. And you can go here. I've posted all kinds of stories. I'm constantly updating this page because that's how often it happens. I haven't been updating it as much, but I put stories over here. So you can see story after story after story. This was interesting. This was just recently. This is March 3rd. Dr. Field confirms the United States government via taxpayer dollars assists in trafficking of children into sex rings and sweatshops. Now, AI is something else. So I have to say allegedly because some of these stories I haven't, but who doesn't know that though? This guy talks about how everybody in Hollywood has been touched. That's his story. But yeah, you can go here and see all kinds of stuff like that. All right. So, unfortunately, in the real world, people do criminal acts against children that include sexual acts. Not only are people abusing kids, I used to befriend, I was like a associate with a lady who is no longer here, but she used to work in the foster care system. And I was a friend of another lady who worked for the social service department. And at one point I was going to be a foster parent. And I also was, had got offered a job at the Department of Human Services. And I was trying to get a job at the Department of Human Services in Arkansas. I had received a job offer in St. Louis, but then I moved to Arkansas. So I was trying to get on to St. Louis. So anyway, I ended up meeting some ladies who work for the social service office. And like I said, I knew someone that was, they were both doing foster care and all of this. And the thing is, children get abused so much. Like, I don't think we realize how much children get abused. It is sickening. And along with sexual assault, people starve kids to death. They beat them. They chain them up in closets. Like, it is a lot of weird, evil stuff that goes on concerning kids. It is crazy out here. And why we don't do a better job of preparing our children for things that we could help them with, like sexual assault, I don't know. But, yeah, it's just one of those things. And let me tell you something. Hold on a second. I'm a scooch. Give a book. Y'all like my jean skirt. So, this is my book. You can go on Amazon.com and get this book. Get it. Okay, hold on. Let me show you guys something. Okay. These are all the same book. When I first put the book out, it was called The Body Book. It's available on Amazon. This is what it looks like, black and white. You can also get this book on Amazon. It is the same book. I just changed the cover because the kiddos seem to like this one. Okay. It's another one, got a white lady on the cover. It's the same book, but it depends on where I'm going. They like the different colors. They sell better. Okay. You got to learn how to craft. You got to learn how to do what you do. So this is a copy of the book. So you can find that on Amazon as well. They're all called The Body Book, except for this one. I changed the name. It's the same book, and it's called Hurt People, Help People. And this is my final edit copy, change to this book. It'll never change because I love this cover, and I think it says exactly what I needed to say. So Hurt People, Help People is available on Amazon. So we can stop, so our kids can stop being Nickelodeon out here, especially for years. I hate it when it goes on for years and years and years. Like, help these babies, help your babies, become more knowledgeable. Don't just be walking around on this nasty, evil planet pretending like stuff don't happen, because it does. All right, enough of that already. Whew. Time to sing some praises for patty pies. Now, I don't know if I've ever had a patty pie because I have a lot of allergies. So I'm limited on what I can consume unless I make it myself. And I make an amazing sweet potato pie. So I really don't buy sweet potato pies because if I want one, I'll make one myself. And I generally don't eat them until Thanksgiving anyway. But Pattie LaBelle only receives 10% for the pies that she sells at Walmart. Now, this was brought up by Master P. So if you've seen Master P, he has this video. I think he's teaching some people in a class or something, whatever he's doing. And he's telling them that he's educating them, right? Because he's a business guy. So he's educating them and he's letting them know that Pattie only makes 10% off of her pies. Okay. Which is cool. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. But I want to break it down to you so you understand why she only makes 10. Hold on. Hold on.
Think about it. We've been working for them.
Okay, let me see if I can find the one. Okay, here it is.
Hey, give them a round of applause.
Play the video.
Now we're going to get deep. Who created Pattie pies?
That's a question I don't know the answer to.
See that? That's why we here today.
Thought. She created it and someone else made it.
Okay, that's why education is so important. So think about this, right? And y'all can go on y'all phones and do y'all research and say, who created Pattie LaBelle pies? Is you shocked? We about to see this right now. That's why education is so important. See, it went viral, but this ain't go viral. Who created it?
Keena Thomas.
Who is Keena Thomas?
I don't think she's from Philly.
Oh, hold up.
Oh, she's a Walmart? I knew it. I knew it was Walmart. I knew it was Walmart. I said great value.
Oh.
Yep. What?
Oh, see that? So now you mad. Don't that make you upset? I want to educate y'all, right? So let me tell y'all something. So that been in Walmart for 8 years. Why that's not in the back of the store?
Walmart on them pies, man.
All right. So let me explain something to y'all. Pattie LaBelle owned 10% of that.
Wow. What?
So you buying it because it's Pattie LaBelle name. So think about this. So that company made, in 8 years, it made $200 million. How much went to Pattie LaBelle? 20 million. Where the other 180 million went? Like, we didn't even know that. Everything went viral because you heard the song and you went and brought the pie. But guess what? Where the pie really going to? See what I'm saying? We got to change that. We won't change now. That's why we out here fighting for this. This is why I'm out here trying to educate y'all, to let y'all know. We're not looking at the big picture. 20.
Okay, so listen, I want you all to understand something when it comes to the business world. Me, myself, I make my own products. I'm an inventor. I make my own products. I file my own patents, yada, yada, yada. So, but I want you to understand something. So I want to break something down for you. First of all, the Pattie pies are not Pattie LaBelle's pies. Okay. So let's understand that part first. So you're asking, like, how are they not Pattie LaBelle's Pattie LaBelle's? How are they not Pattie LaBelle's pet? Jesus. Why are they not Pattie LaBelle pies? That's what I'm trying to say. So the reason why they're not Pattie LaBelle pies is because the creation of the pie itself was made by Keena Thomas. Okay. It was introduced by Keena Thomas. So what does that mean? And I'm going to show you that in just a second, because I shared some information with some other ladies in a group, and I want you to be privy. I want you to have access to that information as well. So I'm going to bring this up so you can actually see it. And I want to break it down so you'll understand. So when you get into business and you get into creation and all of these things, because I own my own products. When you own your own products, you bear all of the expenses. Okay. All of the expenses. Okay. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think, oh, you got this thing. And I'll show you, one of my products is the Diva Wings bra organizer. Okay. Looks simple, right? Comes with the door hook. It's one up there on the door, but you hang your bras on this. Oh Lord. I didn't know I was going to do all of this, but let me show it to you. I'm in my office. So this is what it actually looks like when you put all of your bras on it. Now, women, especially women with bigger boobs, because we have a problem putting our bras in the drawer, we need a diva wing, right? Here's what you don't know. In order to make this, right, I had to pay for a mold. Okay, you have to have a thing that can actually make this shape and can make it thousands of them a day without breaking down, shifting, changing the quality, X, Y, and Z, right? So because I have to make a mold, the mold to make this alone was $21,000. Do you understand? So before I even got to this, oh my God, this is going to be a really good show. Hold on. This was my first prototype. This was the very first. You can't even believe it, huh? This was the very first prototype I made. I was hanging my expensive bras in the closet. My bras cost me $110, $50. Most of them cost over $50. But Victoria's Secrets had this one bra called the Ipex bra or Impex, and it was incredible, and it was over $100, and I loved it, so I was buying them. Anyway, this is what the original Diva Wing looked like this. Okay, got it? All right. I wanted something like that. I wanted something feminine that had a soft touch that women would love. So guess what I had to do? That doesn't fall out of the sky. This does not fall out of the sky. I had to hire an engineer. Engineers are expensive. Engineers run about, a good engineer runs about $300 an hour, okay, to $800 an hour. So you're talking about hiring an engineer. You're talking about spending $4,000 to get the first one, hopefully. I went through 4 engineers, okay? So then not only do I have to make the Diva Wing, I have to get a logo, right? A brand. So I had to pay for my logo, my design, okay? Not only that, I have to pay for the raw materials to make this. This is velvet and it's soft and it's pretty and this is a piece of steel. You got to pay for all of that. You understand? It's not cheap. This stuff doesn't happen. So when you have a product or a brand, it doesn't happen because you're excited and you're happy. It happens because you shell out coin. You pay big money. And it's a whole process. So I had to hire engineers, and then I had to hire a manufacturing company, and then I had to buy samples, and then I had to have first I had to have a prototype made. Listen, all of that. So let me show you this. Kenny Thompson created the Pattie pies. She works for Walmart. She's a Black lady. She works for Walmart. She works in the bakery goods department at Walmart. And I'm not talking about she works at a Walmart. I'm talking about she is the regional director. She is the, not the regional, she is the director of bakery goods for all 4,800 Walmarts, however many Walmarts there are, 8,000, I don't know how many there are. But for all of the Walmarts, she is the director, okay? So she's responsible for every baked good that will come into any and every Walmart store. She wanted a sweet potato pie in the store. So she had her own recipe. She introduced the idea to the executive staff at Walmart and said to them, I think it would be a good idea to have sweet potato pies in Walmart. That was it. She had her own recipe, okay, from what I read, and I'm going to show you the article here in just a second. Matter of fact, how about you join me as we look at this article? How about that? So Keena Thompson, creator of Pattie LaBelle sweet potato pies. So let's see. Pattie LaBelle. Let's see here. There she is, Keena Thomas. So it says she's a senior buying manager, director for cakes and pies at Walmart stores. That's every Walmart stores. Every Walmart store, excuse me. That's not just one. It's not two. It's not the one down the street from you. That is every Walmart store. Okay. It gives her all of her accolades, yada, yada, yada. She's an AKA. She lives in Bentonville, Arkansas. Of course, that's where Walmart is. She called Pattie LaBelle on the phone and had a conversation with Pattie LaBelle and said, "Hi, Pattie. This is what I would like to do." That's what you call a joint venture, okay? Is when you collaborate with someone. You could consider Pattie LaBelle, for all intents and purposes of this conversation, as an influencer, okay? But this is what you would actually call a joint venture contract. What it means is I'm going to give you something in exchange for, let's just say, your good name, okay? Your brand, okay? Pattie LaBelle was doing a lot of cooking shows. People say she can cook very well. I've seen her prepare a ton of meals, and you know, it was par for the course. It was just a good move. So she called her, worked with her team. They got the whole patty pie thing going. She does give Pattie LaBelle credit for contributing ingredients to the pie and also the texture of the pie, okay? How it looks and feels, okay? The thickness of the crust, and I think cinnamon and something else. So it was a collaboration. And so this is the reason why Pattie LaBelle gets a piece of the pie. So Pattie LaBelle is actually getting a piece of the pie, and it was not her pie. It was not something she pitched to Walmart. She's getting a piece of the pie because of her contribution. Imagine making $20 million a year because someone called you and said, "Can we use the likeness of your name to establish a brand?" And you will get compensated for that to the tune of $20 million a year. At one point, they were selling 2 patty pies a second. Now, I want to take this conversation a little farther, a little deeper, so you'll understand. When it comes to mass production, okay? Because if you have, let me get the number for how many Walmart stores there are, because I want to paint a picture for you guys. How many Walmart stores? Blah, blah, blah. Come on, give me a number. Oh, I got it on videos. That's why. Wow. Walmart operates more than 10,500 stores and numerous e-commerce websites in 19 countries. Okay, how many in the United States? 4,618. I know I kept getting that number 4,000 from somewhere. So Walmart has 4,618 Walmart stores in the United States as of March 18, 2024. You got it? You following me so far? So when you talk about supplying patty pies to 4,614 stores, that means there's a machine somewhere mixing up potatoes and cinnamon and pie crust every single day, which means that manufacturing company has to have staff, which means that manufacturing company has to have employees, which means somebody has to pay them. Someone has to make sure they're following all OSHA rules, all of FDA rules and regulations. Someone has to check the quality of the pie. Someone has to box the pie, make the pie, bake the pie. All of this is going on with all these pies. When you get through with that, these pies have to be distributed. So someone has to order the flour, order the potatoes, make sure there's enough potatoes and butter and cinnamon and all that kind of stuff. And then once they get all those raw ingredients, they have to mix them. So that's your manufacturing and your mass production. Once they get through mixing them and baking them, and they got, it's people doing all of this, then they have to ship them out, which is called logistics and distribution. Somebody's got to get in a truck and take them somewhere to all these 4,000 in some stores. All of those drivers have to be paid. All of those trucks have to be fueled. They have to be refrigerated. Like, it's a whole situation going on. It's not, look, it's not your kitchen. Okay? It is not your little kitchen making these pies. This is mass production. This is 5 pies every minute, just rolling on the machine. You get it. Go watch a video. So when it comes to the manpower, the machines, the time, the logistics, the travel, the distribution, all of these teams of people at every level and every phase of this product, Pattie LaBelle is sitting at home doing absolutely nothing. You know what Pattie LaBelle is doing? Getting a notification that money has been deposited into her account. That is what she is doing. It is the best of both worlds, both business and personal. She doesn't have to contribute. She doesn't have to get out of her bed. She doesn't have to make decisions. She's not down there running the machines. She's not checking the quality of the pies. She's not driving a truck. She's not in the store putting it on the shelf. Pattie LaBelle is at home getting $20 million a year. That is huge. A lot of people, including myself, cannot wait until the day that I'm at home and my phone goes ding. Victoria's Secrets just made another $17.9 million deposit in your account because they just shipped out 50 million more Diva wings. You think I'm going to be crying about 10%? Victoria's Secret, Fenty Beauty, I got this bra organizer. Please come license me out. Okay? So, I just wanted you guys to understand the level of conversation, the level of business that actually took place. Okay? I had a deal like that on the table one time. It was this company that wanted one of my products. I don't even have it in the office with me. But they were going to give me 50 cents per sale. Now, 50 cents may not seem like a lot to you, but when you're talking about a multi-million-dollar company, that's a lot of 50 cents. They were not going to own any of my intellectual property rights. All they were doing was a licensing deal, which allowed them to make the product, sell the product, but they have to give me 50 cents every time they sell one. Now, the deal did not go through because I didn't agree with it at the time because I was trying to do something else, which hopefully I get a chance to do it this year. And also I had a big opportunity with another company and everything kind of went another way. So I can't even give out details because everything is under contract and you don't have the right to talk about certain things. I can tell you this though, I would have made that deal because I was not losing any intellectual property rights, which means I still own the design. They can't just make it and not pay me. They have to have my permission. But also it meant that in 1 to 2 years, part of the clause is in 1 to 2 years, we get to go back and negotiate. So let's just say they started selling, because this product is not on the market. I've sold over 200 of them, okay? Every product I've made from the Stop It Stick, which I have right here on the wall, I get to show y'all all my stuff tonight, okay? I like that. All right, so from the Stop It Stick that I made, which goes in your car, stops things from falling between and behind the seats. Some of y'all got them. Thank you for buying them. Some of my people that know me on Facebook and all, they have Stop It Sticks. People tell me all the time, I still use my Stop It Stick. I love my Stop It Stick. Which will go back into production this year as well. Got some interesting stuff going on with the Stop It Stick. But anyway, what you have to understand is when you come out with a product, you don't have a home for that product. You're trying to sell it on Facebook, introduce it to people, blah, 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 blah. You can barely get a person to share your Facebook post. People barely share your Facebook post or like it. Imagine trying to get a product out. It is very difficult. So if the train comes along, and this is not for everybody, but I'm just talking about myself. If a train comes along and offers you a 50 cent per product deal, sometimes it's great to take it, okay? Because they will get your product out. They will get your brand out. They will bring brand awareness, product awareness to thousands upon thousands and sometimes millions of people. When you think about a program like HSN, you will be introduced to millions of people around the globe. That is definitely worth 50 cents a pop. Okay? So you have to look at deals and you have to understand that for a lot of these deals, you don't have to do any work. It's a licensing deal, or it's just a joint venture. It's a collaboration. With Pattie LaBelle, they just using her name. And she making $20 million a year doing absolutely nothing. You know, she used to have to do a few commercials and stuff like that. But yeah. So I just wanted you to understand the whole scope of what it means to mass produce a product and what that actually looks like and why it makes sense. So glad you stayed on my live. I'm exhausted. And I had a chance to share so much. So thank you for being here. But we're about to close this show out and move on about our lives. I'm going to see if I can get some sound going back up because I like my music. Let me see if I can get my sound back. Hold on one second. Is it on? What happened? Oh, yeah. Woo! This one a little long. Thank you for being here. This is KHCCTV, and I am so glad you were here to support this show. Listen, I am Queen Kathleen. We normally take a black love scroll, but I'm not going to do it tonight because I'm tired, and we went too long. So I'm Queen Kathleen. This is KHCTV, where let me turn this down. I feel like it's loud. This is KHCCTV, where we highlight Black excellence, Black love, everything good and Black. Everybody's welcome to watch this show. We talk about trending topics as well, if we can marry them into healthy dialogue and conversations that uplift us and bring some awareness or knowledge. So that is what this show is all about. We don't play over here. If you want just strictly entertainment without knowledge, then by all means, choose your podcast, choose your host, choose your show, do you. But we're always going to bring you a little bit of knowledge, entertainment, and some forethought. That's just what it is. So anyway, thanks for joining. Have a great night.